going on, guys? It's Tuesday, July 25th here on the homestead, and it's a cool evening. Finally, that humidity broke. Probably mid 70s right now. It's honestly feels like an early fall evening. It's pretty cool. It gets you excited for those crisp mornings and cool evenings. We just fed the pigs. Now we're gonna go take a look at the sheep, make sure everything's good up here. I think tonight it'd be kind of cool to talk about how we got started here. Think about doing kind of like a little series of, our first year on the property and kind of take it year to year up until now. Mentioned yesterday our weeds are coming up and electric net's actually falling a little to get that corrected. Shut her off. Get that out of there. See where the sheep like to go. Kind of like to go right up this old road. It's all grazed down here. You take a couple steps over. Look how high that is. They will eat this poison, which is pretty awesome. A lot of this stuff is not good for anything else, but sheep love it. So I thought it'd be fun to share our story, how we started, how we ended up on this property, what interested us in homesteading to begin with. Why were we crazy enough to take on animals and all this land and growing our own garden and the endless amounts of work. I mean, needless to say, my wife and I, we were working at the time when we started this. So let me take you back a little bit. We'll talk about how it all began. So our homesteading journey really began in 2018. My wife and I got married in June of that year. We were currently, we were living at the time in a small apartment, really small. And obviously, like any newlyweds, you want to get out, you want to get a place of your own that you can call home. You want to start a family. We were living in an apartment and we were both working very close. I mean, we were living close to work. So that was a huge perk of where we were at the time. But I mean, we're both from small towns. We definitely always had interest in living on a farm. In fact, I did grow up on a farm here. We're lucky enough that the property we're on is actually connected to my childhood home, the same farm. So it is really nice. We're lucky, and a lot of our story really had to do with a lot of patience. So as I said, we're married. We're looking around for houses. 2018, that the housing market was really heating up. So we're looking around. We're looking for land, and we figure we can learn how to fix some things. We can learn how to take on a project. So we're looking all over the place. We actually we went to see a home on 20 acres. I can remember distinctly, and I remember walking on the upstairs part, and I had to bend down to go upstairs. So that obviously wasn't gonna fly. So the biggest thing for me in our conversations the whole time looking was, all right, we got to be patient. We got to find a place that we really want and not rush into something. And try telling that to your wife when she's anxious to just get out and start a family. And through all that, I gotta give my wife a ton of credit. She was patient the entire time, and it was tough. And we actually ended up, our lease ran out of that place. We ended up moving into a smaller apartment where we were actually, we were at home. We were in our hometown, so that was kind of cool. Obviously, we both had long commutes again to work, but we were a little closer to home. We had our sights set on some different things, and this property was kind of always in our view. We always would drive by here when we were up at my parents' house and be, I really would love to live there. I would love to kind of take this on as Bucky's coming up here. And we always talked about, what if we could get this place? We knew the house is old. I mean, the house was built in 1833. We knew it was gonna need a ton of work. It was very dated on the inside, but we really didn't even know if it was gonna be for sale, if we were gonna be able to afford it. So take us ahead to 2019. So we were obviously always looking at this place, and again, my wife, love her to death. She stayed patient through all of this, and we were actually able to work out a deal with the family, and I'm very thankful for everything they let us do to kind of get this place. They're really looking for somebody to maintain the farm and not do anything dramatic to the property. A lot of history for their family as well. So we were able to basically give them our word that, hey, this is going to stay a farm. You know, we're going to fix up this house, of course, but it's going to stay a farm, and we're going to do a lot of cool things on it. So that's it, guys. In March of 2019, we signed, got the keys the next day, or actually, sorry, the same day. We were dressed in full-on hazmat suits, and we were gutting the place. We had our own demo day, and that was really the beginning of our homestead. That first year was pretty much all construction, and I'll be honest, I didn't know a whole lot at the time about, you know, a lot of that stuff. I mean, I've always grown up around work, so really, you know, knew I'd be able to figure it out. But as far as gutting a house and redoing everything, you know, that was all new to me. So I was out buying tools, you know, pretty much kept Lowe's afloat that year. So the whole first year was, you know, like I said, it was construction, you know, a lot of hard work, you know, a lot of late nights at the house. But really in the start of it, you know, we did start a garden. I actually, my first garden, and I'll put a picture up here, was a old wooden shelf that I used. And the very first thing I kind of really ever read on gardening was square foot gardening. So the shelf had little slots. It worked out perfectly where it was kind of mimicking that square foot approach. So we put one in, put a little fence up, planted it way too tight, but got quite a bit of production, believe it or not, before the knotweed where I planted it right in the middle took over. So that year was the fastest year of my life. 2019, you know, like I said, we got the place in March, and we were on a deadline. Our lease ended in November, so we needed to get this house done. So in 8 months, we gutted a house, and we got it livable, I'll say, because people still ask me today, and I'll say, yeah, the house is never going to be done, but we're definitely living in it, and there's always going to be projects, but we love our home. So once we were in November of 2019, naturally we got our first animal on the farm, and that was our puppy, golden doodle named Hank. Still with us. He's crazy. Don't let him out here with the animals too much, just because he's always running around trying to chase. But it actually worked out really well. Moving in kind of at the end of fall, early winter, got to settle in the home over winter and really start to plan kind of what we wanted to do in 2020. Little did we know what was about to come our way. So that made things very interesting. But we'll talk about that more in another video. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please like us. Really appreciate everybody that watches.